Okay, okay, let me do that again.
There's like a fly flying.
Okay, let me do it again. We're 2 months into 2023. Today, we're just gonna talk a little bit about what happened last year and what's going on this year and how to pivot in a changing market. Kind of want to talk to you about rates. You know, I know that rates went up and then went down and hard money. I remember us doing 10%, now we have to do 20.
Down,
yes. Down. What do we have to do now in this different changing market?
So we all know the last few months, all hard money, all hard money company raised their rates by, going from 6.5, 7, or even 8 to 12, 15%. So it was kind of shock, especially for experienced investors like ourselves.
Yeah.
We went from like 7.5 to now in 10%. We're like, whoa, what is that, right? But that's the market shift. That's just the price you gotta pay, right? However, we're seeing really good news. Rates are coming down a little bit again. So I know a lot of hard money, either they're out of business, just really not providing the same programs like they used to. But we still provide a bunch of other amazing programs. But the most important thing is that we're seeing rates going down. And so we'll see the 9s, which is like awesome.
Right.
We're so spoiled.
Right. I think our first flip, the rate was in the 7s.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the traditional
free
financing.
That's free money right there. Free money.
And we were complaining. People were still shopping. We were still shopping rates.
Absolutely. So for this year, with rates dropping, we're seeing more investors going out there aggressively again. It's still a good market, especially in Washington, to invest. Just make sure, you're the numbers gal when it comes to analyzing the property. But yeah, so good news to all investors. It is dropping. There's more opportunities for the serial
killer. No kidding.
Serious investors out there. I'm really excited for this year. People that are serious, that has some dinero, it's gonna be really, really good.
Okay, so if I had $100,000 sitting in my bank account and I want to grow that 100,000, what should I do?
So either or, I would say if you want to play safe right now, there's a lot of investors still looking for private money. You can lend that 100,000 and make a lot of money. So how I look at it, I had an investor that came up to me, needed $200,000. She said, hey, I would pay anything, 20%. Can you imagine 20%, 200,000? If you have $200,000, you don't even have to have a property to make that income, right? Yeah. So you're getting let's say $3,000 a month, lending out $200,000. That $300,000, the $200,000. Making $3,000 a month, that is equivalent to a $700,000 property. So if you have cash, make your cash grow. Yeah. Don't leave it in a bank that just makes nothing, right? Yeah. So if you have all that cash, come to us.
Call us.
We have a lot of great investment opportunities for you guys if you don't want to flip. This is extremely safe.
And we know these investors.
Yeah.
We've had relationship with them long term. We know what they're working with. We also know what the timeline for the project is. And we know and we have an idea of when you'll get that money back. So we'll talk about how long, how much, and what's the return on it.
Everybody wants to see something. They want to see growth. If you prove to that investor that you can make his money grow, of course. If you have that money and have trust into us, and we're actually proving it to you, right? We're making your money grow. What do you want to do? So
there's nowhere else where you're going to get that kind of return. You could put in a CD, probably not stocks right now. And
Or crypto.
What? Don't go buy a car at this point, There's a lot of opportunities, and I think that you just have to create an environment around people who do this. And start small. Don't start 200,000 right away, right? Start with 25 or 50. And then once you see it double, then you can add more. Once you build that trust with that investor, it's dang, they really know what they're doing. And these investors, what they're doing is they buy in high volume. The wholesaler are always sending them deals first. They're sending them the best deal first because they know how to pull the trigger and it's super fast. Versus someone who is a first timer or have done it twice and they're nervous about it. It takes them, a week just to analyze those numbers. Versus an experienced investors that we know. Once a deal is sent, we pull the trigger within 24 hours if it's a good deal.
And we know a bunch of really great experienced investors in Washington. They're all our friends, you know, that's like the community we built, and we'll guarantee you.
Yeah, so I have a question. If I'm an investor and I bought a property and I needed to refinance because I couldn't sell it. I put too much money in it, right? And I couldn't list it for the price I needed to get out of it.
Right.
What do I do with that property?
Well, that's happening a lot, especially
Right.
everybody bought super high, even as a whole, you know, an investor last summer, and now it's not moving. What I recommend is we do have a program where it's called DSCR, where there's no income docs. What we'll do is refinance you to a 30-year fixed loan. So the BRRRR method, right?
Yeah.
You buy, you rehab, refinance, and rent it out. So that's the perfect scenario for investors, because a lot of times investors, we write off everything. We are broke by the end of tax season, so you can't qualify for a regular traditional loan. And this program makes it super easy for you to go into from your mature hard money to a fixed rate for 30 years. So you can rent it out, sell it within the next, few years. This actually forces a lot of investors to hold. And it's actually a good thing,
Right.
Because a lot of investors are flippers. They want like instant gratification, right? But this actually, and they're going to be thankful that they're holding this property. So if you have a situation like that, just give me a call. Love to help you guys out, and trust me, you can thank me.
Okay, so we're 2 months into 2023. What are some of the strategies? What are some of the things we're doing differently this year than we did last year? I know last year it was just raining money.
Pouring.
Pouring. It was like pouring money.
Like hurricane, tornado. Like it's
we bought it, it made us money. We bought it, it made us money. Going into 23, we're 2 months in. We have about 8 months left in the year.
Wow,
I know, it's crazy because we really don't count November, December, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's sleeping. So 8 months left. What are some of the things that we are doing? What are some of the things that you think we need to do this year to triple our financing, like double, triple our financing? And the way we buy properties is very different than the way we used to buy it.
Great point. I think, especially for new investors last year, losing money, it doesn't feel good when you lose money. But I really recommend dumping all the investments that are not gaining anything for you.
Yep.
Even if you're losing 10, 20,000, you're sitting on just negative everything, right? My suggestion is to dump everything we have that's not making money.
Yes.
We have a few in back burner. Our mortgage used to be anywhere from 50,000 a month. This is like insane, right? First, dump all the negative equity. It doesn't matter. Just cut your loss and then move on and start clean. And because there's so many deals, it's gonna be more deals out there. Yeah, I think this year, just really diving and analyzing our numbers more carefully.
Yep.
Last year, it was all about numbers game. Like how many flips we can buy, it goes on the market within, it was just insane.
I know.
So this year, if we're not making 100, 200,000, we cannot look at this at all, because you never know what the market's gonna do. It can get worse, it can get, I don't know. I wish I can tell you guys, right?
Yeah.
But just be more picky and choosy.
Yeah.
And also, I think this year, it would be great for us to hold more properties, like look at more multifamilies and maybe out of state. So
yeah, definitely right now I'm kind of like the numbers strategy in the team, and what we're doing is we're crossing off one property at a time. What needs to go first and then what needs to go last, so that we're not bleeding money and just cleaning the books and starting off fresh and smarter. If we have to write a check at the end of the sale and move on, we're willing to do that. Sometimes you make a lot and sometimes you don't. It's part of the investment, and you can't be emotionally attached to what you don't have. You have to really think about what's the next 3 to 6 months and what it looks like. And so I'm looking at the books this week and it's like, okay, we're gonna write off this. We're going to package this property this way, and we're just gonna let it go. And then once we hit the $500,000, we would like to take that and buy long-term. Out of state Airbnb or a multi-family. We have few investors in different states: Miami, Florida, Arizona, Texas.
Yeah.
Places we want a vacation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
If we buy a 20-unit apartment, we're gonna deck one out so we can stay at one of them. when we go visit. You know, everybody knows that long-term wealth is created through buy and hold. Flipping is a short-term where you're raising capital to buy the long-term properties.
And I'll also focus on what you're good at. You know, we want to dabble here, dabble there. Like, as you can tell, nobody knows what I do really, because I do it all sometimes. But just really focus on one or two things that you're really good at. Like, I would never be a Michael here.
Right? We're not gonna even try. We're not gonna even try to be Michael.
Shout out, Michael. You're doing such an amazing job. We love you.
He's the
keep up
best.
Keep up the good work. So
yeah, I echo that. Really focus on what you love to do and what you enjoy doing, and then create an environment around that. Don't follow what's shiny, what's exciting for somebody else. If someone's buying like 1,000 apartments and that is something that you don't get excited about, then go into residential. It's just whatever makes you excited. And try one or two things first till you get really good at it, and then add a third. You know, we started as real estate agents, and once we got really good at it, we were helping other people make millions. I mean, you helped this guy make millions, and then he didn't want to make money, and you're like, okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I don't know if he didn't want to make money. Of course, we all want to make money, but I think it's a stress level that comes with it.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't, the capacity that was coming in, he couldn't handle it, and also legal stuff that he can't talk about. But there's a lot of moving parts to a lot of things. And, you know, that's the thing. If you keep on doing what you love, it's gonna fall on your lap, right? Like it's just gonna fall on your lap, and that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You grasp onto the opportunity and make something out of it. So that's the thing. If opportunity, I mean, I can't even emphasize on opportunity, people you hang out with, the network. I mean, just go out of your norm, go out of your circle and learn something, right? It's all about learning, whether it is learning about medical sales, the tech, just whatever it is, learn something new.
Yeah.
So, and meet people.
Yeah.
I love meeting people.
Yeah, and I echo that again. It's, your environment will help you see things that are part of your blind spots. So, like we didn't learn about hard money till later. And we went to a conference in Miami, and all these people were doing big investment properties and they were lending, right? And we were meeting people who own lending companies. And it just blew our mind, the amount of volume and the amount of money they were making. We met this guy, and I think he said he wouldn't touch a property unless he made 10 million.
Yeah.
He was from New York, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh. We met them, and they booked like this penthouse on the water. They had a private chef. And when we were on our way there, they had this crew, and they were calling their crew and like, we need to have this food and all this stuff ready when we get to the house. It was just like a different lifestyle that we never knew about.
It's amazing.
It was
when
amazing.
you're around people that blow your brain or blow your mind, that is exciting, exhilarating. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, wow, really? Like, awesome.
Yeah. He was just like, you guys make 300,000 on a flip or 100? It was like, that's how, I mean, he probably steps over 100,000, Yeah. But it was crazy because when we met them and, their partners, they ride in a posse, right? So they had the architect, they had the lawyer with them, they had their financing person with them. So when a deal came, they picked up the phone and then they handed it to the architect. The architect was like, okay, sounds good. They pass it to the financing. In that moment, within like 10 minutes, they pull a trigger on a $10 million property. It just blew our mind.
Yeah.
We were just like, oh my God, we need to think bigger. And that's why she got excited about going into hard money and looking at different opportunities that come to the table, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're like, okay, where did that deal come from? How did that happen?
Or the different scenarios, right? So like the clients are bringing deals to me and why they want the hard money for, you're like, whoa, like what? It's just awesome, amazing. So.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, think outside the box, network with other people who are doing it and learn from them, see how you can contribute to them and grow as a community. I say we can't you know, build a building by yourself. We have to have a team of experts. Everybody has their special niche, right? Like the 10X girls, you know, I have all these ideas, and then Alicia brings all these people, and then Franny, she kind of like our analytical.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she puts it all together. I think Franny is our glue. We love you.
I know, we love you,
glue.
Franny.
Yeah.
Without you, 10X would never happen.
I'm like just all over the place, having fun.
She decorates, and then she gets everybody excited, and then she brings people. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. That's, you know, ideas.
And then Franny go, okay, this is how
we have to have this people,
together,
these people. We have to have this facility. These are the things that we have to put in place. So surround yourself not only with people that do the same thing, but have the superpower that you don't.
Yeah.
I call us the yin and the yang.
Yes. I'm not wearing white today, but you know.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and that's what we have for you. We hope that you find your passion. We hope that you really think about your future and what it looks like. And if we can help you in any way, please reach out to us.
Yeah, just be intentional.
Yeah.
Time.
And love.
Yeah.
And love.
Lots of love. And happiness. And laugh. And just have fun.
Have fun.
And lots of tequila.
Lots of tequila.
All right.
Oh my God.